I was maybe 10, 11, 12, but I was,
You could do better.
I think what helped was maybe the sense of responsibility. It sort of covered up the lack of academic excellence. Yeah, for a bit. When I got into uni and I found radio just
Start up.
clicked. I was scared of it, but I loved it. I was like, this is a good fear. So I just kept working on it, kept building on it, kept building on it, kept building it. And I spent 10 years doing radio actually.
Wow.
Started radio 2012 when I got into uni.
10 years is a lot.
Yeah, 10 years. Actively been earning professionally from 2018.
Whoa.
But like groundwork, hustling, learning.
Is that why they call you Radio God?
I wish. I wish.
But I would like to explore those questions you had about religion, because I feel men have a lot of questions about religion.
I think it depends on the man. Depends on the individual. I think at the end of the day, it's either it works. I don't know, but this might be a personal opinion. It's either it works for you or it doesn't work for you. I think you can't really force anything on yourself. At the end of the day, you can try your hardest. You know how they say you can pick up on habits that you want. You can work hard. And sometimes nature just fails you. Yeah. So for me, it wasn't like I wasn't raised the right way. I was raised in a Christian religious home. My parents are very religious. But because the system wasn't allowing you to question a lot. So as I grew older, I was very curious. I think that was something that, because I always just critiqued a lot of things. I was the pastor's child who didn't want to partake in church activities. I played the drum. Some things I did because I needed to have a sense of, I needed to give my parents, and I'm thinking of it now, I feel like I did some things growing up because it would make my parents proud of me.
But not you proud of yourself.
Yeah. So I did it because if I don't, it made my parents look good, in the eye of other people, and I became like an example.
But you weren't happy.
But I wouldn't say, happy wasn't it. I just wanted to be me. Being me was not how they saw life. And that played a lot into my belief system. I would say I really tried giving this religion thing
You gave it a chance.
I gave it a good shot. I really tried. I won't lie. I gave it a good shot. I invested my time in studying the word, praying. At some point, I just, things
weren't hard enough.
Yeah, I wouldn't say it wasn't. I wasn't no longer just buying it. Buying it. But I'm not a. There is God.
Yeah.
That's it. There is God. There is supernatural. There is spiritual. I believe in that, but I also think there's a place where you begin to have an understanding differently, and maybe for some people they become enlightened and they get more enlightenment with that religion in them.
Yeah.
It's more like the enlightenment they get affirms their spiritual beliefs.
What they have always known.
Yes, and there's some who get
It's
enlightenment
just
and then you just drift away from it. You just try to modify and modulate it. And then, that's on the side. I think also maybe because I've just seen where I needed. So for me, I think one of the things I still need to probably have a conversation with my dad about would be, there was a time when I needed, we had a financial crisis as a family.
Yeah.
And the church didn't stand up for it. My dad took it in good faith because he took it in good faith. But for me, I'm like, nah, no. It's not for a church that is giving you all.
All.
And maybe now they want to use my wedding to correct their mistakes. Because my dad is like, oh, this person said they're coming. I'm like,
why are they coming now?
Why are they coming to do now? What do they want to come and look for? But then maybe it wasn't my fight. It wasn't my fight. It wasn't my battle. And I shouldn't maybe hold on to it as much as I need to. So yeah.
True.
So there is letting go, there is learning and unlearning, and there is just finding wisdom. I think what I do now is I listen to people to gain and keep an open mind. But it's hard sometimes with religious leaders. But I do keep an open mind. I think that's something I have been gracious to be blessed with over time.
Being open-minded.
Just opening my mind to, how do you see this from here? How do you see this from here? What is the broader perspective? Even when a preacher is preaching, okay, this person makes sense. Okay, I like this. is practical. It's not fallacy. There's a lady I listen to now, and I just love how she teaches. She's on Instagram, Tito the writer.
No, I've not.
Funny enough, she has become my Sunday message. She does this more Sunday show on Beat FM in Lagos.
Okay.
And she preaches on I mean, a few times I've caught up on her. I'm like, I like your perception of okay, it has to be Jesus, and that has to not construct and form around it. So it makes sense. So that's somebody I like. I like her thought process. I think now I just try to listen to people's thought process, understand their thought process, and it helps form mine thought process, and also helps me to form a balanced individual. So I'm ready when you're ready.
Yeah, because men have religion, like questions about religion, and I just feel that might just be the core of our interview, or don't let me say interview, chats.
Yeah.
Like there are many men that have questions about religion,
Yeah.
and they don't have an outlet to like express themselves. Like for daddy belongs to a generation where they are not allowed. They like there's no how they're going to remain like that. They may not have the opportunity you have to be open-minded and be able to respond, or let me put it that way, like be able to behave accordingly. So for daddy and our moments, they are going to stay that way. They will just keep on hoping that no, something happened. They will not. I don't think they are going to question the system or question religion that much the way we are going to.
Interestingly, my dad has been very open. Like I said, my dad is somebody who I know that he hears from God or from the Holy Spirit. Because before COVID, he had mentioned that the time would come we wouldn't need to go to church to have service.
Wow.
This was prior COVID, long time before COVID. He had said that we would give offerings and tithes from our screens.
Whoa.
He had said that long before COVID, that we should stop boxing ourselves. Because financial crisis happened, and he worked with this person, Jim Ibrahim. One used to own, I think he bought Nikon or something, I can't remember. And that opened his business perspective and opened his mind that there's possibilities. There are lots of possibilities.
Wow.
So for some individuals, it's a question of if they even research on their own, if they want to know more for themselves, if it's just they're just taking a hook, line, and sinker. But even in the process of my dad knowing a lot on his own, there's still some things he holds on. So I'm like, come on, man. This is 2084. You don't believe that? You don't think of this that this is money making scheme?
And so what? How does he react, or how does he respond to that statement?
And so I try as much as possible not to downplay his beliefs. But I just laugh at some of them. My mom also gets it when I'm trying to do that. Like, oh, I've come again. And I'm like, okay. But there are times when I have to let him know. Like, there's a time for my whole religion movement and all of that. It took a lot for them to come to an understanding that, okay, I would not go to church every Sunday, but not like I no longer believe
In God.
You know, but he still believes in you have to be in the house of God, you have to serve. My mom believes that you have to be a worker. You know, you have to join the work. And I see her on Sundays, and I'm like, why are you dressed like this? My brother makes a huge joke out of that. But their generation, I think it also helped them hold on to that faith. Helps them, I think, is what maybe it helped them live longer.
Yeah. Because it kept them away from stuff that they shouldn't.
Because when they talk about faith, you know, faith is the evidence, or how do they describe faith now?
Things hope for, not seen. Yeah. And then you hope, you pray. I think where the church in Nigeria or Africa misses it is not practically showing them how. How. You can't just, because my dad used to say, after prayer is action. You can't just pray, you have to take action. Yeah.
You know, God is not going to bless an empty hand. You have to work hard. You have to have something in your hand to do. And if your hands are empty, then there's nothing for God to bless. He also says a closed mouth is a closed destiny. You need help, you talk. It's when you talk, people will help you. If you don't talk, nobody helps you. So, but the church necessarily didn't show a lot of ways to how to sustain things. It's like how there's a church close to my house, and I hear the man say, you become a millionaire. I'm like, yo, this woman that sells bully cannot become a millionaire. I don't like her. Don't lie to her unless if she has a son somewhere schooling and he lands a scholarship tomorrow. Then maybe, so I'm thinking of that. Okay, maybe the mom may not land a scholarship. Maybe her son will land a scholarship and
Yeah.
get a big job, and then he becomes a millionaire. Relatively, his mom becomes a millionaire. But practically, how can they navigate what they have, expand what they have, grow what they have, build their network, and just be big? I don't blame people who go to big churches. I tell you, church is business. Find the church that has the network that you want and join the workforce. Because you will make more money when you are in the realms of
True.
people that can actually pay your kind, afford your kind of service. You know, if you are maybe a fabric vendor and you're in a church where the average congregation's earning is less than 3 million in a year, you probably want to move to a congregation where you can point at 12 people that drive their own private jets.
Yeah.
At that point, you can sell 5 years for 3 million, and it sounds affordable. It doesn't sound expensive. They probably even question if it's original. So the scope of religion is expanding. There is a new wave of young people who are finding religion, and I think that they are finding like maybe hope in it. At the end of the day, religion is at our core, whether we like it or not.
Yeah.
We cannot, either Christian, Muslim, or traditional. The religion is our belief system, is our core. Belief is what has even bet anybody. We have to believe, and that's where we are. So,
Awesome. You are an insightful person.
I try.
And I feel that you try to like cover it up from yourself. I don't know why.
Well,
Yeah.
do I cover it up?
From yourself, like you try to convince yourself that no, I'm not that good.
Yeah, because I don't this I would say I'm not that good, but I always try to like tell myself that there's work to be done. There's work to be done, because I'm seeing what like other people are doing. Every time I like scroll through my feed, sometimes I check for like people who are behind certain successful people. Like there was one time I was scrolling through Instagram and I was looking at who is the person putting together Ashake's concerts.
Yeah.
I'm like, Ashake, of course, is not the one securing these venues. There is a team behind, and I found the lady behind it, checking what.
Yeah, I
she
saw her too.
Yeah, and I was like, wow.
A lady. That was what even caught my attention. Like, wow.
There's this show they do in Lagos, Homecoming, and I found out it's Grace Adaaja that is behind Homecoming. I'm like,
Wow.
I'm checking what degrees they have. So I'm understanding, okay, this one is privilege, but this is hard work. You've worked hard to get this. Yes, privilege puts you in a position, but you worked hard to be able to attain a position where your opinions matter. You know, this matters. You have to be extremely good. I discovered this guy too recently, the guy that designed the FA Cup. He's a Nigerian.
Whoa.
Yeah, the last FA Cup they played, the guy who designed the cup, I
Yeah.
can't remember his name now, but this is somebody that Rolex has never done a collaboration before, but they did a collaboration with this guy. Who are you? Who are you that they're doing a collaboration with him, you know? And I'm saying that, yeah, this will put in the hard work. So when I think of it like that, sometimes I'm like, guy, I have a long way to go. And I'm like telling myself, how long do I have to be able to get there? I'm already in my 30s, you know, and I'm like, time is going. Oh. When I see what other people are doing, I'm looking, because I always like to not look at where people are, and I look at how long it took them to get to where they are. And I hear their stories, I listen to the journey. And sometimes education is important. You know, the more educated you are, the better exposure you get, the more information you have. And if you're lucky to come from a wealthy family, it matters too. Because some of the people now that are
Your network.
yeah, your network, you know, it changes too with money. And money really is an important factor. So when I think
Yeah.
of that, sometimes I really like to not overhype myself that you're doing well. No, I'm not doing well. Feeling
This is it.
destiny or fulfilling purpose.
So we've talked about religion, we've talked about vision, we've talked about we've even talked about like being yourself, my original self. Am I even sure I've gotten there or not, and the rest like that. But something keeps coming up.
Yeah.
That's father and son. It's like you have a good relationship with dad and mom. No, you and dad. Or like you said it over and over again that you respect daddy a lot. How many
Yes.
how many men? I don't think so many men. I don't think so many people like male, like men. How many people do you? have you ever met? I don't think I've met a lot of men that have ever said like they hold their fathers in high esteem.
Well, I think for me, it had to be from a place of choice.
So it wasn't automatic for you.
It wasn't automatic. It was seeing the hard work, and I think it took us having a financial crisis
To open your eyes.
open my eyes to,
That is real.
yeah, because I think that was his most vulnerable self that I think I have seen. And I think maybe sometimes last year when he lost his mom was when I probably understood how, and I know that he's a hard worker. My dad's story as an individual my dad is a product of hard work and grace. Because this is somebody with SSC, joined as a fuel attendant, came from Kogi to Lagos, and started as a fuel attendant.
Wow.
And grew from being a fuel attendant to being a manager of a petrol station. And is a product of hard work. Is a product of somebody who wanted to be better, but the opportunities were not a lot for him to. And maybe he didn't have a lot of the right people around him. Network. But he still was able to. Is a man of substance, and I think that's one thing we all take from our dad. That he's a man of, so he uses this line, study to show thyself approved, and he's somebody who studies a lot. It's not his level that matters. He's willing to humble himself enough to learn.
Wow.
And he knows when he's not capable enough. So we don't have a great father to son relationship, but there are qualities in him that I admire. And I make references because my dad is somebody who that is reflecting on me. There's a huge part of seeing my father preach on Sundays, Sunday message that unconsciously rubs off on me now as an adult. And we might not have because I don't think we have the best, because I was a very troublesome child. I was a very troublesome child.
Like, I can't picture it.
I was a troublesome child. I had my fair share of not being the child they want.
No, because the day this, I don't want to mention it, but the day this other guy was describing you, I was trying to defend you, I was trying to picture the guy he was describing,
and he doesn't match.
So I get thinking like,
because I really didn't do a lot of it. I think I held on to the values while trying to find myself, and which of course is not how parents want it. They have an imagination of how you should appear before the public and all of that. But I was trying to find myself. I was trying to find out who I was, who I'm supposed to be. But I still held on to some core values. I was respectful. I knew my manners. I knew how to treat people right. I, picked up a few things on the side. I found myself, and I think I discovered internet too. Very early on. Internet helped me to shape myself too, because I used the internet and I'm fine as long as I can hear my brother, my sister, and I know that they're good, or we talk occasionally. But now I'm beginning to learn that I need to talk to them. And some of these things are not their fault. It's their belief system, what they know. Because growing up, the financial stuff, you don't have money. Because your station goes, your truck goes, right? And that was like primary source of income. It was major source of income. So it made us, because dad became an entrepreneur right after that. He started his own thing, was building his own self, oil and gas, and able to keep the family afloat for a bit. My mom is a fashion designer. So mom took care of basic things in the house. My dad sorted school fees. Lucky us, we have our own house. Yeah, so we're not paying rent. So that covered a lot of the shame that came with that. But the pain of going through that financial crisis, how it took its toll on us unconsciously, because our parents, I don't think they did it intentionally, but finding answers, just rubs off on me differently. It takes a lot of privileges away from me, and they unconsciously push the hardship or how they express their pain to you. From my parents now.
Yeah, transfer the aggression.
The aggression, and they don't know that they're transferring that aggression. But it's still, I'm skeptical. I don't open up to him at all, because a lot of times they don't even know what's going on. My mom, I think, I told my partner that Daniel doesn't talk to people. And even my partner, and I see that happening with me now, and I'm struggling with opening up to my partner. And we've had a few chit chats around. A few friends that I have who have built strong bonds, they ask me, how are you doing financially? I'm pouring all my secrets out to them, and then my partner asks me, how are you doing financially? I'm good. I'm fine. It's like, I just heard you on the phone now, tell your friend that you don't know where you get away. So Yeah, it's not some. I think I was just maybe God wanted me to just only pick those lessons and hold on to those values and build myself and run with it. And at the end of the day, it's about my dad would say having a family culture. Build that family culture in a way that no matter how it goes, you just continue to hold on to the core values. And I think that has helped. I might be absent, and that's a worry. And I see how money can really not make you see that this person has their own pain or have their own feeling, and you might lose sight of it. So I think I want to be a present father. I want to be a father who allow their child to do what they want as long as it's right. You can guide them, you can give them suggestions, and provide for them, but you should also let them be who they want to be. So I think one of the things I would want to do is allow my child to be who they want to be, but also equip them with the right tools. And I give my parents a lot of grace now. I heard a phrase, I think I said it surely with you, that
Okay.
Everyone on earth is doing the best they can with the wisdom they have. And if you understanding that helped me give my parents a lot of grace on things I'm like, I could have done that, I could have pushed on,
But they weren't exposed to
they weren't
that.
exposed to that, where I believe that religion comes in. Because some of these religious leaders are well exposed.
Yeah.
Some of them have their children schooling abroad. Some religious leaders had the opportunity to be more than an average Nigerian, in not just financially but intellectual wise.
Yeah.
They were planning their lives, but they weren't teaching it like that. They weren't exposing their congregation to such teachings, or concerned enough to know what was going nitty gritty of each family, which is the responsibility of such religious leaders. But it's not the same now. But that's supposed to be the core of religious communities, not just being a safe haven for prayer, but also for growth. And that is it. So for me, it would be to also show my child the Christian faith. I would want my child to have an understanding of what the Christian faith is. So I probably want to go to church because of my child. Yes.
Yeah.
Want him to see that it's a way of life. I think the Bible is one of the most complete books ever written.
Wow.
If you think of it constructively, you can see that there is wisdom in the writing of the Bible. The people who decided to make the 66 book be what it is, or remove some and end up concluding that let's have 66 books of the Bible, made sense.
Yeah.
They knew what they were doing. So
Yeah.
to be good to be present, to be available, to allow them be who they want to be, also to be the example, because that's something my dad was. So yeah, be an example. There's certain things I like my shirts properly starched, not because I do, but it reminds me of my father when my shirts are starched.
Wow.
So I would want to pass such skills onto my child.
Nice.
The oratory skill too. I picked that up from my dad.
Whoa.
Because my dad is a preacher. I point every 5 minutes for another 4
Ah.
minutes. That's a lot, man.
A lot.
It's a lot of wisdom to be able to do that. So yeah, I hope I can be able to transfer that to if I have children, be able to do that.
Yeah, I'm sure you will. I can even feel it. But I asked my dad, why did he leave my mom? So he's in Germany.
Okay.
I'm in Nigeria. So on WhatsApp, I asked him, and I remember that day, he was quiet for a long time. Because I wanted to know, because what I ask people to do is to have, not interview their parents, but try to have a kind of conversation, because that will help you to be able to locate your own path. Because you didn't jump from heaven.
Yeah.
So your own path is a continuation of somebody else's path.
True.
So if you get to know why the other person did not succeed,
Yeah.
you can be able, and you're well equipped about why. So you're able to correct and not repeat.
That's it.
But if you don't have a conversation or a kind of relationship, you won't know. And because the person is going to tell you certain things without knowing too. So, and it's going to come out in just normal. It's not like, Dad, I want to have a conversation with you. It's not going to come out that way.
Yeah, of course.
So it's going to come out just in passing. So how will it come out in person if I don't have a normal relationship? So I wanted to know why Dad left, so that I could be able to help myself and my brother, so that we won't repeat what happened to him. So he was quiet for a while. He didn't give me any answer. Maybe he doesn't know the answer. Maybe he didn't know the answer. And I don't think he still knows the answer because he has not answered me.
Yeah.
But from that day, he started calling me my dear son. I don't know. I still need to ask him. Like, why did you change my name to my dear son?
What did he call you before?
Just normal Ayo.
Okay.
Oh, but now just change to my dear son. And that was like 4, 5, 6 years ago.
I think there's something with age, though.
Yeah.
There's something with age because the older you get, the more you realize that you're not far from who your parents are. Right?
Mhm.
The older you become, you realize that you need to let go of some hurt, you need to make peace with them.
Yeah.
Just having an understanding that they are no longer as young as they used to be, knowing that your parents are in their like 60s, they're in their 70s, they're not as young as they used to be. So there's some arguments you would not want to have.
Yeah.
There's some things you would probably just want to build peace around.
Yeah.
And there is the moment you become older, for me now, as I'm much older, I'm able to understand some of the things my father had done, and now I'm even in this position now that I find myself. I'm okay. This is why he did this. This is why they did this. So I'm in a position where I'm now beginning to like find answers on my own, and those answers like sort of help me to heal about the answers I need to get from my father. So you might not necessarily be able to get all the answers you want. But just seeing how your life is going and seeing some of the pains they've gone through, you might be able to understand why they took certain decisions. Because as men, we would always need to take hard decisions, and hard decisions sometimes comes with its own consequences. Some good, some bad.
Yeah.
You know, and it might be that maybe dad had to leave Nigeria for, okay, if I had to make sure that these children were good for life, this had to happen.
Yeah.
So you have to figure out which one is more, staying here being in poverty or leaving to ensure that everybody's fine.
Yeah.
But the perception from outside is, oh, he left his wife. But they don't realize that, oh, something had to go for one to stay. So father-son relationship and finding answers might not be easy.
Yeah.
It might not be easy. And some answers you might not really get. You might just need to maybe expose yourself to listening to some other father-son conversations.
Yeah, and then
it helps answer some questions.
Wow.
Yes.
But of course, our sons are not going to go through that kind of long pathway.
Well,
we're going to make it easy for them.
We should make it easy. But there's this popular saying that you are not far from your parents.
Yeah. True.
How you would raise your children is so. I think there's a line that says you're already 55% of how you raise your children is how you're raised.
Yeah, true.
And you can't change that. So it's now conscious choice of what are the things you picked up from your parents that you want to pass on to your children. What are habits you see in your partner? They're like, okay, this is probably a repeat, because there's something about when you choose to raise a family, you begin to see the family you are from in the family you are in. You want to start. So it's not a choice of, I don't like this thing. So you see yourself maybe being hard on your partner for something, but really you're not hard on your partner, you're just hard on the traits that you're seeing coming from your own family that you're from, and seeing that get into your wife and seeing it in your own family. Like, I don't want this, I don't want this.
Sure.
You know, and yeah, we should make, and people don't even realize that there are people who did not have support, who were not really sharing their burden with another person. They stomached it a lot. And I think I picked that from my dad too. Stomach your problem, stomach your pain. So there are just a few people who have I have that outlet with, that I can actually like, and I've understood that talking about it helps.
Yeah, it helps.
It helps.
Yeah.
But a lot of our parents did not have that outlet. They didn't know what it's like to really express the hurt. They just moved on. Some of them assumed it was life happening. And the church wasn't really a safe place like it's supposed to be. Because nobody really would say, oh, let's talk. Okay, how are you dealing with this? Nobody was really, and we didn't know how to. We didn't know how to, because it was not in our culture to talk about problems. Unless if it was a life or death situation.
Yeah.
It was only when it was life or death people opened up.
And that would have been like too late.
Too late, you know. But our fathers really swallowed a lot. You know. I've seen my dad driving, and you know, when your hands on your steering and you
shaking.
You could tell that he was thinking while driving. You know, your mind is somewhere else, and we're doing something else.
Wow.
And that it's still a problem to this because it was an outlet for men. Men would drink, it helped them to just be away from the problem for a bit and then they go back home. If you're lucky to have a good wife, who doesn't nag around and make you feel like you're a bad father. But a lot of men just consumed it, and we compare ourselves a lot as men. You see your mate doing more than you are, you want to do more for your kids. I always say, God, I beg, God, I beg. But this time, I remember one now that we're talking, I was in this supermarket. This man genuinely wanted to make his kids happy. Got to the store, wanted to buy some toys, and he saw the prices of the toy. He had to drop some and take some. And I'm like, yo, you work so hard and you can't even enjoy your money. So, and fatherhood is something that people don't realize that changes you. You forget yourself for the beings you give birth to. The moment you start having children, you don't think of yourself anymore. You think of how those children's life can be better, how they can survive. And the moment that is like your core, you just we need to know how to take care of ourselves.
Yeah.
Buy some things for yourself. Even when you have kids, like they have their own needs over. Do not make them over priority over yourself, because a lot of our parents did that. I would say they went naked so that their kids could be fine.
Yeah.
And in turn made them unable to express themselves. They're like, I'm doing it for my children. I want my children to have a better life. And it's from a place of they didn't have a better life. If their parents were unable to give them a better life, so they want to give their children a better life. So we now that are going to start having kids now need to not just give our children a better life, but also be able to have a better life and be able to build our relationship. Because our parents giving us a better life meant them leaving the house, meant them not being available, meant them working tirelessly to provide for the child's needs. I remember when my dad lost his job and I was going to an expensive school.
Whoa.
Yeah, because my education had to go to a very good school because of my learning difficulties.
Yeah.
And when he lost his job, what was done, what's obtainable is I'm supposed to change school. And I'd already gotten admission into a new school, and I was like, no, you're going back there.
He didn't allow you to go?
No, he didn't allow me to go to the new
so
school.
He made you stay in that good school.
In the good school.
Whoa.
And for me, that's like a huge sacrifice. This was me seeing my dad struggle every day, because you could literally cut the struggle in the atmosphere with the scissors.
Wow.
And you see that there are fathers who go all out for their children. And it's just sad that the media doesn't project that example a lot, because there are a lot of fathers that are really being shameless just to be sure that their children have a better life. Some of the fathers you see driving taxis, they have a 9 to 5, they still drive just because they don't want that child to go outside and beg. They can leave there are other parents leaving their children to go outside and beg, but they are just making the hard choice to this child will not suffer, this child will not suffer. I would rather go naked than this child be naked on the street. So it's not an easy feat, but we need to create more small pocket conversations where these conversations can happen.
So two things came up in my mind, and then we will now go through the videos that we have.
Okay.
One is, how were you able to end up having a small group of people that you could open up to?
Yeah.
Number two, does that mean we can, by starting the conversation or having a relationship with our fathers, it can also help them to open up?
Yes. So, okay, let me answer the second question for the first one.
Yeah.
I think a lot of sons need to be able to sit down with their fathers and have conversations with them. But the truth is, you can't force it. You can't force it. It has to happen at its time.
Yeah.
And we don't know when. But I think it can start from, if you and your father doesn't have a relationship, you can start from calling, asking them how their day went.
Yeah.
If there's something they're trying to do, you can tell them, I don't think you should do this. I think you should just let it be. If they listen, if they don't,
Yeah.
it's fine. But at least
You-
and before you know, they start consulting you before they take decisions.
Mm.
And some people didn't grow up. Some people just grow up in home where they just see things that have been done. They don't. And some you might, as this child, have to be the one to do this. And I'm talking to myself as I'm talking and answering this question, because I realize that I don't really know a lot that's happening with my parents. Now that I'm an adult and I'm trying to get married, I don't really know a lot that is really going on with them, apart from business, and that's pretty much all I know. I just know it on the surface. I don't really know it in depth. So it's a thing of maybe get involved in what they are doing, know what they are doing. I said, if your father has a business, try to know the business, know how to see how you can know how can you support that business. It can be from maybe helping them create an Instagram handle, managing Instagram handle by yourself. Put your number.
This is my own contribution.
This is my own contribution to this. Okay. If it can be of you need to. I can get you a NHIS that will be cheaper for you to get this medical service. So that can help to be able to have that relationship with your father. Stylishly begin to ask questions. What was your thought process around when I was born? What were you when I was born? I ask them if they were ready to have a child at the time they had you. Some parents are not ready.
They weren't, and the anger is still there.
The anger is still there. There are parents who were lucky to have relatives who took care of the children and were able to pursue their goals, but some parents couldn't, because I know that a child will change you. Now I know. Back then, a few years back, I wouldn't have understood why my parents just decided to no longer pursue bigger goals, but chose to keep the family together, because everything has its own consequences. There are families who the parents chose to let's pursue the career goals at the expense of the child. And there are some parents that let's manage what we have, let's continue to build gradually and not take fast steps. And let's carry everybody along as we're growing together. And the parents just left their kids behind, pursued the money, and now there's the money, using the money to fund that relationship they have with their children, and life is not good with them. So give your parents grace, and remember the phrase, everyone is doing the best they can with the wisdom that they have. And that's one. When it comes to friendship, I think it took till 20 move on and off. So we were just always us at home. So I didn't really have the urge to care for anybody. And it really fractured how I have relationship with people, even till date. There's some friends in my life, they're in my life because they choose to remain in my life, not because I'm a good friend. So, and I remember being in my final year in uni, and I was working and all of that, and because it was my final year, so I slowed down on the work. I started coming to class more often and all. And there was this time I came to an 8 a.m. class. Class was an 8 a.m. class, and I went to school. Even how I had relationship with women because of that loneliness. Even when I got an apartment in school, I still stayed alone. And that really impacted me. And it took from that time to start working on it. And I think at some point, God just blessed me with some people that just helped me. And I also was working on myself. And I was just working to be a more empathetic person. But I still struggle with having a lot of people around me. So some people that I opened up to are because they also opened up to me, and they made it a safe space for us to talk. So I started working on that. I started working and it can also be finding people of like minds. Just trust like minds. You might not be in the same level, they can be above or below, but just find like minds.
But reach out.
Don't wait. Reach out. I started reaching out.
Close your eyes and reach out.
Yes, reach out. It would filter itself out. Those who would stay, those who would not stay, and they would just filter out like that. And you don't need to force it. It's like energy. It would come around. The moment your intentions to why you are doing it are honest, you would see it that only those who with that honest intentions will come around. And I've seen that play out with the circle of friends. When we started Jollof Man, we were just about 3 of us, and now we've expanded to a group of 5. And one of the guys who joined us, the reaching out.
Wow.
Somebody has to do the reaching out. As long as the energy from you is good would come to you. And if the good is not good and is pure on its own, it will phase out itself. There's something about the universe that will always bring to you what you are giving to it. So nice. that can help you. And maybe don't overly stretch yourself. You can start by journaling. I didn't even realize how much journaling was a huge part of my life. Talk to yourself, and it can also help you know how to express yourself with people.
Awesome, awesome, awesome. So let's go. Let's go through some videos. Let's just see how far we could go. I just want you to drop your thoughts
Okay.
on each. Are we set?
Will buy you the things you need. They listen to you, they attend. I finally realized why women prefer men that lie to them. And I'm going to tell you why. It's because the ones with good intentions don't know how to say and how to show their good intentions. Finally realize why women prefer men that lie to them. And I'm going to tell you why. It's because the ones with good intentions don't know how to say and how to show their good intentions. It's like in politics. The politicians that bribe the most are the ones that win election. The ones that come with a lot of fake promises. As they are lying, they are showing evidence. So they will buy you the things you need. They listen to you. They are attentive. Meanwhile, you that have intention, you don't even know how to speak to a woman in a way that she likes to be spoken to. You don't even understand women language. See these so-called bad boys. Oh my God, they have gone to the school of understanding women. As the woman is giving the man the things she needs, the man is ordering them already. Is it flowers? Is it lunch dates in exclusive places? He's listening. Does he have the intention to stay with her? No. You that have intention, you've not even secured a date. You are not being fast. It's not like you should lie, but shows. Women move by what they see. Let's normalize you being a good man and showing it so that your future wife will not go and marry a wrong husband. And you now go and be marrying a wrong wife. You say, there was this woman I would have married. But I don't know, when I was talking to her, things were not moving fast. Whose fault is that? I finally realized
Is women will marry who is available. A man will marry who he wants.
Yeah.
Women will marry who is available. A man will marry who he wants. I think the actual phrase says a man will date who is available and marry who he wants. A woman will date who she wants and marry who is available. There is so I wouldn't say that women fall for men who lie to them. But I would say that society has programmed us a certain type of way on how to receive treatment from men. And that has affected
How to communicate it, how to express it.
communicate, because not because they are not men that they've met, but because they have a mindset, but that you don't think that, because when you hear the story 2 years that we were dating before money could come in, what comes to you, and then you need to now ask yourself the question: if the men who come to you are always lying to you, how are you positioning yourself to attract this type
Such
of
men?
What mindset do you have? And you might not even think of it. You might not even be consciously attracting them. It might just be of the kind of lifestyle you are in your head living. The only type of men that can fit that lifestyle in your head are the men that would
those
lie to
people.
you. So, and you might be living a good life right now, but
Yeah.
the lifestyle in your mind that
Yeah.
you want to live is not a lifestyle that
Very
a
true.
man who has not built his confidence can approach you.
True.
He has to be a man who has financial reward, and that's the mindset in your mind. But you are actually like, I need a good man, that's what you're saying. But in your heart you are daydreaming, and that daydreaming is your programming, and that is what your energy is oozing out to the people around you. Like, God, I want to be able to buy a Birkin bag, I want to be able to eat in a fancy restaurant, I want to be able to do this, I want to be able to do this. But you're not working, you're not having that mindset with a goal of, I need to work hard to be able to do this for myself. You're having that mindset with a man needs to
Somebody
do
would
this
do it for
somebody
me.
will do it for me. And as long as the mindset somebody will do it for me, the people that can do it for you are the ones that will come to you. And unfortunately, at the level you find yourself, the people who can do it for you are going to be the men that are going to lie to you.
Very true. Very true. Very true. Very true. I like that statement. Like, whatever lifestyle you want, you have to fund it yourself for yourself, and then somebody else who also wants that will now eventually also come your way. Unlike if you want somebody else to come and fund your lifestyle, then there's going to be a big problem. Thank you. All right. So the next one.
sexually. When men, even when they are outsourcing sexually, I would still say they're outsourcing desire and appreciation. I think they really, really, really require appreciation as almost like a driving force, as a motivator to do other things. How they might receive appreciation is different for each guy. Some men might want it verbally, some might feel appreciated when there's acts of service like food, or some might feel appreciated by physical touch. But I do think a lack of appreciation is like a slow suicide for a lot of men. They start to think, why am I doing this? Because we as women are very good at creating social connections. So mostly our work or something gets complemented by several people, whether it's our parents, whether it's our friends, whether it's our hairdressers. Men are quite deprived of that. They don't walk down the street and get as much validation. So when they get deprived of that, even in their home, they start to lose motivation. So I say appreciation is quite an important trait for men. Even when they are outsourcing.
Men don't get a lot appreciated. We need to first establish that, which she said. And I like the fact that she talked about how men are appreciated. And I think each man differs. I figured out that what works for me is act of service, right? But I also learned recently that you cannot always get what you want, right? So if as a man, how you want to feel appreciated is through act of service, and you're with a partner who acts of service is not their core, how do you balance that? So yes, appreciation is important. The man needs to be appreciated, but a lot of men don't know how to receive appreciation, right? So they don't see the need for you to say it, right? So it can be from the man's love language, is how you choose to appreciate the man, and I think that might be the easy way to continuously enjoy that man. When a lot of men are no longer appreciative of their partners, it's probably because there is an act of service the man likes and the woman can no longer give. And he goes out for who can give him that act of service. It might be little. It might be coming into a place and the place is extremely clean. And you as their partner can no longer give them that act of service. So if they meet somebody who can give them a little bit of that act of service, they will probably go for that. But at the same time, I said that you cannot always get what you want. So I think it's also a place of communicating as a man, and even knowing what makes you feel appreciated. If they do this for me, will I feel appreciated? And letting your partner know that if you do this for me, I feel appreciated when you do. And the woman understanding that this is not just because this man wants to control.
This is his core.
It is his core. It is what would continuously help me to. It's what will continually help him to have that lust in his eye that you. To also understand that there is an act of service that your man would require from you, and you must not see it as a burden, but see it as what keeps you together.
Awesome. Thank you very much. The next one.
When you come home, would you rather have me or me looking good?
This is a great question. This is getting the brain cells tingling.
Answer the question.
Sorry. Why can't we do both? Like, why are we
There's
limit?
3 options, so I'm not sure where both comes from.
What? 3 options? Are you sure my brain cells are working correctly? You said clean house,
Yeah.
me looking good.
So you don't want to eat? You just forgot
Oh,
about the dinner.
I need to eat.
you
Sorry.
can't.
Have you ever heard about rewinding time?
Oh, Stan, you don't
So
have
today-
a travel machine.
How do you know?
This is over.
No, we are never over, girl.
I'm not a girl.
Woman, it's enough from you.
Depending on the man.
Depending
on the man. Sometimes a clean house might be what a man needs to feel relaxed at home from a chaotic day. Sometimes it might be that the man doesn't want you to the man.
Yeah.
Right? What is required of you part-time from your partner is important. There are times when you know that your partner coming back from work, they're extremely tired. If you can, as a man, make the dinner or order takeouts already available for you both to eat and just get her to shower and go and sleep. Right? And if it's that you are home, you can clean the house, pay somebody to clean the house, please do. If you need to always dress appropriately, there are women who says they like their men when their hair are cut, their beards are trimmed, and they look good, right? And for them, it's a turn on, because at the end of the day, the end goal is to continuously be turned on by your partner.
Yeah.
And that's what keeps you going for the longest, right? So, and it depends part time what your partner is. So I can't answer the question for generally all men, but each man will say, "Oh, I would rather this every time when I come home, or this when I come home, or this when I come home."
Wow,
Depends.
that's like very insightful. Like that's an. That's not one. I think he was confused at a particular point, but he kept on.
Yeah.
All right, so the next one.
I love a woman who's not afraid to yap. Like, tell me more about how your day was. How was work? What's going on in your friend group? You could literally spill all the tea on me. Annoy me, because if I like you, I want to know. Don't be afraid to be my little yapper. I'm all ears, baby.
If you want your, it's a different thing when she tells you everything and when you demand that she tells you everything.
Yeah.
There are two things.
Like you shouldn't even get to that level of you demanding.
The moment a man's like, "Oh, tell me what's happening," or picks up the phone and say, "Show me, let me see what's happening." No, that's toxic.
Yeah.
Right, but when you're with a partner who is willing to talk to you all the time, cherish it. Cherish it, because the moment she becomes quiet, you wouldn't. It means that, because women are very emotional.
Yeah.
And if they choose to always talk to you, always tell you what's happening, when they choose to be quiet, something is wrong.
Yeah.
And that might mean emotional detachment from you. And that's when you start having conversation of infidelity, of cheating, and the likes, or you no longer find me attractive, or so you no longer sees you as the person that she usually sees you. So know your person. Know what is the turn on for them. If they talk to you all the time, listen to them. Be available to listen. Don't shut them off.
Yeah.
If your person is someone that talks occasionally, but when they talk occasionally, they want to make a lot of sense at that short time, be there. If they just want you to be their gist partner, be their gist partner. Find your person and find what works for you. And I think at the end of the day, choose what is yours.
Of course. Awesome. And of course, you can't find someone if you have not even found yourself.
Actually,
Awesome.
you can't.
Awesome. All right. So next one. Is that all? I think you still have like one or two more. Yeah. Like.
Brutal tread.
We just show like three. Maybe you can just go through all the three and then just have the final.
We're attracted to confidence men. Okay. Men peer.
Okay.
Next one.
The third one.
Have a good sense of humor and is highly appealing. Well, confidence is an important attribute of being manly. When you're manly, you're confident. You're not rude.
So it's appealing to women.
It's appealing to women, and not just to women, to anybody. When you're confident,
true.
You can stand up for yourself. You say what you want. You don't just fit into the crowd. Right? That's important. The second one is
paying attention. Second one, paying
Second one
attention.
again.
Second one.
Second one.
Thank you.
Well, pay attention to how you
communicate.
Yeah.
Men are poor communicators.
Well, I'm guilty of being a poor communicator, even with the fact that I talk a lot. So yeah, women like when you communicate to them, you carry them along. Women like when they're being carried along. When you're doing something that you're telling, "Oh, this is my plan. This is what I'm planning to do. This is how I'm planning to go about it." They might not be able to contribute anything.
Yeah.
But
the fact that
you are talking to them about it,
wow,
it's important. Even how you, and communication can differ. It can be how you talk to other people.
Because I've seen ladies say, "Oh, he's attractive because he's funny."
Yeah, because it sends.
And the guy may not be fine. He may not be handsome.
I think a sense of humor is relative or is a perception, depending on the person that you're with. Because at the end of the day, there is something in the other person that you're attracted to, and there's a humor in that type of person that can make you laugh. And that humor is not just significant to that man; it's just a baseline for you as an individual. And if they can achieve that, it clicks for you. Like, oh, they have this sense of humor that I like. You know, they can get it. You know, there are people who say that, oh, if they don't get savage humor, I can't be with them. Like, what is it that I don't have to explain everything to this man now? Why doesn't understand this savage humor? You know? And then like also there are men who don't get it.
Yeah.
And that's also it's a form of humor. Some it might just be how they throw light jokes, how they make you laugh, how they tickle your fancy. And that humor thing is dependent on you as the woman and what kind of humor you have been exposed to and that you find attractive.
Do you think men have like? Do you think we have like a sense of humor?
Yes, we do. Have you been to a beer parlor before? We
So
laugh.
men do laugh.
When we are in our group, we laugh.
But when we are with our women, do we laugh that much?
We do laugh. We do laugh. We do laugh when you are with your women in a group that you like.
When we are just with our women, do we laugh that much?
It depends. I think that is where communication comes in. You know, a lot of people did not see their fathers or mothers have laugh conversations. So when you can't practice what you've not seen an example of. Maybe only in movies you see them. But a lot of families have not really see their father and mother have an inside joke within themselves. So it's not all the time that you can see couples, wife, my partner, you know, I don't know, wife for Allah, you know, it can be light jokes. So when we say humor or when you're with your partner, it depends on the individuals that are having that conversation.
Like how they manifest it.
How they manifest it. You know, couples definitely have things they joke about. And you know, it can be when you watch a movie together. It can be how you pick something from a movie you watch together and throw a light joke around it. That can work.
Awesome. I think there's one more. There's a lady that said when ladies are dressed in bikinis, we don't look at them because we are so polite, not knowing that she has exposed 99% of everything that we are looking for.
Does it mean like any lady or just
like the lady was just trying to say that you know, if you see a lady in bikini now, you are this lady, you are likely not going to look at her.
I have my theory around that, but let's hear what the other.
Did you know that when women wear bikinis, they reveal 90% of their bodies? But men are so polite, they only look at the covered parts.
I have a weird mindset, and I hope women don't come for me. The value of a woman is not in how exposed her body is.
Yeah, true.
Right?
Yeah.
The value of a woman is not in how exposed her body is.
True.
And we are in a society where that is affecting and there are a group of men in our society who have a mindset towards women. They want to see your curves, they want you to be a certain type of way.
Yeah.
But if you look at a certain perspective of some men who also chase around small girls, they have a modest woman at home. Why would they have a modest woman at home and have a woman who shows up everything to be the hourglass? It's because the value of the woman is not in the body, it's in the being of that individual. Well, men are supposed to respect women when they are wearing bikinis because first of all, you don't wear bikinis everywhere. You wear bikinis on the beach, and if you're on the beach, you're supposed to be mindful at how you stare at other people, how you look at other people. But when I find you in a setting like an office environment where you are showing off too much,
Okay.
in an environment that is not for that setting,
Beach like.
and you find me staring, don't be offended because I'm going to expect to see that in that type of environment. Right? So, and it doesn't change how anybody sees you. If you choose to have a lot more of your body exposed, and if you choose not to have a lot of your body exposed, men who would approach you would approach you. right?
Sure.
But it frames a mindset around you unconsciously. So women need to know that if I see that 80% of the time you are showing off your body, there are men who are comfortable with it. But I would also say that it automatically classifies who can approach you. It also does a barricade on your value system. You might have a lot to give,
Yeah.
but if the first approach of who you are is showing off cleavage or showing or exposing your body, I have a theory that there's a character flaw you are hiding
And then you are using that to cover
to
up.
cover it up. That's a personal theory. That when somebody shows off too much cleavage or too much of their body, there's a character flaw they are hiding. And then take a minute, you'll find it.
So I know what I'm going to do.
Yeah.
I'm going to ask a lady the same question.
Yeah.
Like when you guys show your curves, does it in any way imply that you guys are covering? Because a guy told me this.
Yeah.
And I just want to find out.
It's a personal perspective. And
Yeah.
I've not been able
But
to.
I get it.
Yes. And that's
It
how
makes
it is.
sense.
That's how it is. So but yeah, men need to respect women.
Yeah.
Men do not
So
have
that's why we don't look at them. We try
men
to
need
respect them.
women. Men are sort of cover up. You would not be seen. Who says it is not you're not proud of yourself if you don't show off that? Who says you're not confident? Who says that you're not more than just that body if you don't show off that? You know, for some people even go as far as saying, oh, women who show off their body a lot tend to get abused by men. But check out the statistics of rape. For example, we have more unreported cases of rape up north where they are like fully
Covered
covered
up.
in hijab. Look at India, for example,
Yeah.
where their women are always
Conservative.
covered up, and
Yeah.
there's a lot more high conversation around rape there.
Yeah.
You know, but one of the things I think, and it doesn't exactly change it, I just think that the likely chances reduces by a bit, and it's not verifiable what I'm about to say.
Okay.
But I think that men would look at you differently when the first approach of you is not
Your body.
your body. It's not all
Like
the time.
they rate you, the way they look at you will be
Yeah,
different.
it might be a lot.
The
different.
respect.
They respect you differently because sometimes men don't know how to really diversify their ideas. They see you one type of way. That's the only way they're going to be seeing you. Even if you have other values and skills, even if you have more skills, but they're like, she's all about.
She just did it once, and that once.
That's the mindset the man will run
Whoa.
with. You know, some men don't know how to like change their mindset about you. They're like, ugh. And the first time I saw you, you were looking like this to a work environment, not in a club, not in a party, but in a like that's who you are. Maybe you're that type of woman. And they don't try to verify unless something happens later from another person. I used to think that you were this type of. I didn't know that you had this type of smartness. And you know, maybe you just reduce the chances of giving a man any ideas. It doesn't change. It doesn't mean that it reduces, to be honest. Because sometimes men are very funny beings. Especially when it comes to the conversation around women and their body.
Yeah.
Very funny being. Because what you think that shouldn't
matter.
And you're like, what is wrong with this man? Are you okay?
They take it seriously.
Like, there's something wrong with you up here. So, at the end of the day, I think men just need to control themselves and be more responsible as men.
As men. Awesome. So there's this. First of all, I want to thank you
Yeah.
for coming. I know you are very busy. I know this is a very busy schedule, a busy period. So I want to really appreciate you for coming.
Yes.
You are very insightful. No, the discussion was very insightful, and you're an intelligent person.
Thank you.
And I really want to say thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Yes, sir.
So there's this tradition. We're going to take a selfie.
Okay.
Okay. And I might just probably also ask you what you think about.
And just, you know, because it's supposed to be real men's conversation, and it's
Yeah.
something that I'm very invested in.
Nice.
And I think it's a good outlet. You know, it would be good for more men to be able to talk, find genuine outlet to speak, and also help other men. And I really hope that my session was insightful.
Yeah, it was. It was very, very, very insightful.